Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Facebook Live right here at the Mighty HQ. I like to call it the Mighty Ship instead of the Mothership. Right here in Burbank, California. I'm Rudy Caseres. I do these Facebook Live interviews every single month, interviewing different mental health advocates. I've been doing this since January of 2018. But today, I'm probably more excited than any other month, any other person. So that's a high honor. My guest today.
That's a very Hollywood thing to say.
Yes, I know. Like I feel like I've gotten like more cliche as the months go on.
No, that's what happens. I'm completely I've sold out.
Yeah, I try not to do like the fake like morning show laughter. Like, my
Was that real?
I don't know. I don't know if it's real anymore. But we're going to talk about reality, and we're going to talk with Maria Bamford.
Yes.
Comedian extraordinaire, actor, voiceover artist, former Target spokesperson.
Human being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fellow bipolar.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching this live, please let us know that you're here.
Yeah.
We love our international audience. We love our other mighty contributors. If you have a question for Maria Bamford about anything mental health related, OCD, bipolar,
I'm not a
hospitalization.
professional.
She is not, and I'm certainly a professional in nothing,
Dial
as
911.
you can see.
Dial 911 if
Yeah.
it's serious.
Reach out to your friends. Reach out to your
Or to your
peers.
friends. Yes.
There's plenty of support out there. So without further ado, tell the whole world, the whole mighty universe, solar system, galaxy, cosmos, who is Maria Bamford?
Uh-oh. Oh, Rudy. Okay. Well, I'm 49 years old, and I live in Los Angeles, California. And I mean, if we're going to talk about mental health, I think when I was around 9 or 10, I began having some sort of symptoms of not being able to sleep at night and having some OCD, fear of harming people who I loved, and so depression, and sort of manage that with an eating disorder, as you can if you get an eating disorder. Sometimes it helps you manage your moods, keeps you up or down or flatlined, and then lots of therapy from the age of 10. I went to a therapist when I was 10, and she was a Christian-based therapist. Sorry. If it works for you, thumbs up. But I was raised Christian, so I have a right to criticize it. Anyways, she was very nice though, and she let me sleep on her couch while telling me of the tales of Jesus, and which can kind of be restful at a certain point. And then got tons of different therapies, and then have had ups and downs, but the last several years I've been on some great medications, but I see a therapist and a psychiatrist. I also have insurance, so some of the best mental health experience I think possible, and it was still kind of crappy.
I don't disbelieve that.
I'm a believer in get that shitty ass help. My psychiatrist is she's close. I don't know if she's great. She's not the greatest, but she's close.
Like driving distance?
She's close, and she takes insurance, and that's all I want. I don't care if she plays beer pong during our sessions. She's tried to bring out the beer pong.
Oh, wow.
She sets up a little table. No, she doesn't. She's lovely. It's just sometimes, when people try to go, oh, you've got to see this guy, but guess what? He's 3,000 miles away, and he only sees people at 6:30 a.m. on Sundays on a helicopter pad. No, just go see whoever's open.
Yeah, I remember I was listening to an interview this morning, and you were talking about how one of your first psychiatrists that you saw, he was actually YouTubing you because he didn't believe you that you were an entertainer.
That was in the hospital.
Yeah.
In the hospital, the guy was Googling me. I didn't think I thought they had cut off the Wi-Fi in a hospital, but no. Goofball. But, oh well, what do they're at work too. Everybody's at work. They're kind of bored. They've been at work a lot. So
yeah, work sucks.
Fair enough. If he's going to Google, he's seen a lot of bananas people all day, and so maybe he's tie and needs to do some YouTubing during a session. I get it.
That's what I do.
I'm barely paying attention right now to what's happening.
So before we get to the beginning of your mental health issues, let's give some shout outs. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Chelsea Circle. Hello, Joelle Marie. Joelle's my wife, so she's definitely going to ask questions about OCD.
Nice.
And hey, Joseph and Jolie.
Spravato.
Yes.
Questions about Spravato. I have no experience with Spravato. I'm on 750 milligrams of Depakote, 50 milligrams of Seroquel, and then 40 milligrams of Prozac. Can you see the tremor? Can you see it? All right.
So definitely consult a professional about that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey Taylor, how are you doing?
Yeah, please.
Let's scroll down and see if we had any more comments. Hey Cynthia, how are you doing? It is hard to get meds, like you're telling me.
Yes.
From New Hampshire. Julia says, I'm working on my Master of Science in Counseling right now, and one thing I learned recently is how, quote-unquote, Christian counseling is not the best title for the ethics and services all counselors are to offer, Christian or not.
Get very good. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I hope that's a critique, and I will take note of it and change accordingly. Counseling that's done by Christians? Anyways, I'm not sure exactly what was being said. But...
So let's go to the beginning of your mental health struggles. How early, was there a specific moment where you realized that you were bananas?
I didn't think, I thought, you just think you're having the experience everybody else is having. And then I think my parents sent me to a therapist because they were worried. So I thought, oh, maybe I think once somebody else points it out, then you think, oh, I guess this is weird. I guess, but I don't know if I called it a mental health issue. I just thought I was a bad person. I just thought I was a bad person.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how I felt. Like, I have bipolar and all kinds of different issues. I've been hospitalized. Like, I had a mental breakdown when I was in the Army in 2009.
Oh, shit.
So it took me a while to, like, really get my life together. And it helps doing this. Like, when I started sharing my story, that's, like, when really...
It's so nice. Other people know about it. How was the Army in terms of care?
It sucked.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, when you have a breakdown in the middle of the dining facility, that's kind of like... you close the curtains as far as like actually going any further and like go into war and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's probably good for you. Nobody wants to go to the middle of the desert or wherever it is. Where are we? I think we're all over the world.
We sure are.
Creating and maintaining wars.
Yeah.
All over the place.
I was in military intelligence, so if you want to know where the UFOs are, I'll tell you that offline.
Oh my god! Awesome.
Yeah. If NSA is watching this, I'm just joking. I know nothing.
Oh.
But but it was a bad experience, and thankfully everything's better now from sharing my story. So,
did you find care? How did you find mental health care without cash? That's what I often think for me is like, if I don't have any money, where do I go to get help when the wait list is 6 months long, or they're just going to hospitalize me for 10 days instead of me getting to see anybody because they just want to keep you in a hog confinement system so you don't hurt yourself. Have you found free forms of healthcare in Los Angeles County?
Well, first off, when I got out of the military, I had like a little bit left over of healthcare from that, and then they booted me, and I wasted all my money on stupid things. So,
or had a good time.
No, absolutely.
No, okay, I'm so sorry.
Absolutely not. I think I bought like video games and bubblegum and Rockstar autographs.
Wow.
So.
That sounds pretty fun.
I mean, at the time it was. Looking back, it's like, man, I should have invested in things like gold bullion, man.
Yeah.
I could have been rolling in dough.
Yeah.
So, and then thanks to Obamacare, I was able to hop onto my mother's healthcare plan. So that lasted until I was 26, and then I got booted from that, and then I went to LA County Department of Mental Health, and that was not the funnest experience because it's hard to find someone who's really gonna devote time to you. Like, I mean, there's many great people out there who work for the department, but it's just like when you're one of a million, it's just so hard to find someone that will give you the time of day to really talk about things.
But did you find someone?
I actually found the best therapist in the world when I was a student at LA Harbor College.
Oh.
Because it was like PsyD interns, and like they were really progressive and like really like they weren't trying to diagnose me or like that. They didn't ask me for my diagnosis or anything like that. It was just like talking. I don't like CBT. I don't like any of those other structured things. I don't like doing homework. Like, I've had therapists who have threatened to fire me if I don't do the homework.
Oh, I know, yes.
And I definitely know what it's like to have a therapist who talks on their phone. I had one therapist who would pick her nose.
Oh, and harvest things from it, or?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Like, it's just... she was preparing for the winter.
Keeping a couple snacks up there.
Yeah, so... But yeah, so with that therapist, I was able to really, I guess... harness who I am and realize my potential and start sharing my story and so on and so forth. And then I finally got my VA disability in 2015, and then that just took care of everything. So I can get like a pig like sewed into my heart and it's completely free. So
Jesus. No. Oh my God, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Because I've been to LA County, and yeah, it was. I mean, if you're already feeling bad and then you wait in line for 6 hours, I mean, and that's what you got to do, to get. So, anyways.
But enough about me. I do like how you're asking me questions.
No, I'd love to.
Vanessa Lloyd says, my favorite comedian. We actually have the same birthday. Ooh.
Oh my God, weird.
Any advice for youngish bipolar folk?
Oh, keep being awesome. Let me see. That sounds like a sticker, a motivational sticker. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself, getting enough food and shelter. Those things are so important. And try to get as much, that your health's most important. That's been a hard thing for me to realize over and over again, that I need to feel okay, and to stay on my meds. I don't want to stay on my meds. I do not. Boy, do I not want to stay on them, despite the fact that they've made my life delightful. I don't want to stay on them. I never do.
Yeah, I like to say that the people who are most against meds are the people who swear by them.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was very much against going on what I'm on now. I was just like, no, thanks. I want to have a real life, where I break down in tears every few seconds, and it's been awesome. I've been able to, just have a very steady existence, which is spectacular. And I think from my productivity, it's made me a more productive artist. I mean, not the productive. I mean, who gives a shit? The world is dying. And not to bring anybody down, but I don't know if you've noticed. Okay. Walk out for the climate on Friday.
There we go.
Jesus Christ. But at the very least, I can see what's going on in the world, and I can still go outside and have lunch with a friend. Or make myself a sandwich and have at least some laughs, a few laughs a day. I think that's important. Whereas before, I was constantly, life felt some days absolutely unbearable. Or having not crazy ideas, great ideas based in some sort of reality that kind of made my life pretty stressful for my friends and for myself. So I just get very caught up in ethical. That's my thing. My obsession is ethical issues of like whether I'm a good person or not. So much so that I can't interact with other human beings. Like because I looked at them wrong, and so you can see inside my brain, and that I'm a terrible. Oh, Christ Almighty, right? Christians, Christ Almighty.
It's okay to hate people. I do, except for all of you watching. I'm talking with Maria Bamford at the Mighty HQ.
And whatever thoughts that you're thinking right now, I can't see them, which is it was surprising to me that people didn't know what the thoughts were that were in my mind.
Yeah, no, I can see them.
Oh, what?
That's fine. Okay, so I want to talk about a few mental health issues because you
Yes.
have quite the combo platter. You've got the bipolar, you've got the eating disorder, you've got the
OCD.
OCD, intrusive thoughts. So, what came first in your
I
life?
think they all kind of, like everybody, you just kind of get a little melange of things that work for you. My mom was on diets a lot when I was a kid, so I sort of got it in my head that being thin was a good person. Like that was a good thing to be. So I immediately started doing that, dieting, and one thing that happens when you diet is you set up a binge cycle because if you restrict your calories, for the most part, they've done scientific studies on it that you will begin binging, and that cycle began. The binging really helped me kind of calm down. Like I would kind of eat until I passed out, or and so that was helped that, and then part. I think some of the obsessions helped me not have to connect with other human beings, which was a very anxiety provoking thing. Like now, I feel okay talking to you, but I would definitely had a avoidance of chit chat. I love there's a reason I do stand up. I love controlled forms of communication. I love interviews. Love it. There's there's a hard out. I know what's happening. I love 12-step groups. Been a member of those for a billion years. Stand up because there isn't the there's some sense. I mean, even if it's a false sense of what's going to happen every time. So I don't know what, so that's I don't know. Now I have had meds and I did CBT for the OCD that I had, and now I have some slight new obsessions, which the CBT thing really helped me. I don't mind a worksheet. I actually.
Oh yeah, I know plenty of people who do.
I love a worksheet. I don't. Yeah, even if it seems senseless. Although I have to say, I went into one hospital and they gave that. Who's the date? Is it Burns? David Burns, like it was like a positive thinking, cognitive behavioral, like a giant phone book worksheets. Could not do it. I was just like, my brain was melted at that point, so I couldn't do anything. But, yeah.
Let me ask you, how many real friends do you have in your life?
Oh, I have great. Oh my gosh. Well, they're not here, so of course they can't speak for themselves. I hope they know that they're my friends. Amy, Jackie, Ivana, Alex. Yeah, I have at least 5. My sister's my good friend, despite, us getting irritated with each other. And my mama and my father are my mom was a therapist, and they're down, as the kids say.
So they all get it.
Oh yes, yeah. My mom's had a manic episode a few times, so she, has had that experience, and runs in her family, and that kind of anxiety and all that stuff. So
Yeah, what's interesting is that like I've dealt with mania, and like when people are trying to control me or put me in a box, I'm like, no, like you don't get it. Like I'm on a higher level and you guys are trying to keep me down. But it's funny, like when I have loved ones that are manic, I'm like, dude, you need to like shut the hell up and like really, I don't got time for this, okay?
No,
like,
mania is super irritating. When I'm very compassionate to people who are my friends or who have been who are dealing with a loved one who has a mental health issue, because it's exhausting. So you gotta take care of yourself first, and I think also that's where professionals come involved, where it's like somebody who doesn't take it as personally, isn't saying, oh, it's my fault you're ill, or believe whatever, if I'm putting some nonsense on somebody I love, of blaming them for how I'm feeling. I always feel like that it's important for people who are loved ones of mental, to take care of themselves first, to Because I think there is some, I would hope there's some level of choice in getting help for mental illness. So, I haven't experienced that myself, but some people say, oh, I don't want to take meds and I'm going to learn to handle this my own way. And so you've got to respect people's personal choice, especially if you're a libertarian. And I hope we got some libertarians out there. I am not a libertarian. I'm a progressive Democrat.
We got everything.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah. So yeah, I want to acknowledge that it's heartbreaking on both sides of the experience of mental or of any health issue. It just, you feel powerless to help somebody, or and if you're whether you're the ill person or you're the person who's trying to help, it's life is suffering. I don't know if you've noticed.
I have. I'm only 32, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot of suffering.
I was going to ask you a question. Now I've completely forgotten it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm okay with the suffering.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that, because oftentimes we talk about wanting to be cured of bipolar or wanting to have a life free of pain. There is no life free of pain. I hope everyone realizes that. Especially people watching this, we have people with cancer, rare disease, all kinds of different health issues. And it's like, yeah, it sucks a lot of times, but it's made me the person who I am. I certainly wouldn't be here talking with you.
Yeah, having a great time with dogs in your office. Did you know at the Mighty they have 2 roaming friendly dogs in the office?
Yeah, I think there's an Instagram account.
Jeez. Oh, there is. Okay. Yeah, and what is it like? Now, I assume people who work here, everybody has mental health issues or knows someone who does.
Yeah.
Is there, because I know that's been hard for me to tell. I worked, did a TV show, and I had to tell people, hey, I got a hard out at 12 hours. Like, I can't do more than 12 hours of work. Is there anything like that here where people have to tell each other, hey, or you have to tell someone, I gotta go, I'm done for today, or I'm having a hard time with mental health issues? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, I don't work here full time, but the Mighty is big on mental health days. Like there are days where people can work from home. We have a lot of remote workers as well.
Nice.
So I feel like they're very progressive as far as giving people mental health days and not like discriminating against that.
That's so good to hear, because wouldn't that be weird? That would be really weird if the Mighty was like, come on, suck it up.
Do they do that, Ashley? Okay. Yeah, no, they're very good with that. Our CEO is like in the office over there, so maybe you can ask him afterwards.
Okay.
So something I was interested in here that I learned about you is that you were involved with Debtors Anonymous.
Yes,
so
yeah.
How did that happen?
I can't say that it's one of the weird rules of every 12-step cult.
Right.
Is that you cannot say that you're a member of it. But let's just say, if I were to have gone to those meetings for 25 years, I'm not a representative of any of anything really, even myself. I didn't hire this.
Yeah.
So
who are you wearing today?
Who am I wearing? This is I think made by someone abroad. This is
Wait,
also
abroad or across the country?
Across the world somewhere. It was inexpensive, and so I assume not a fair trade agreement happened with the result of this. I am down. This is my favorite thing. Free help. Free shitty ass help. I will go anywhere where it is free and people are willing to talk about problems of life and how to deal with it. I am an atheist, and sometimes people have a hard time with 12-step programs because there's a lot of God talk, a lot of God bothering, as the Australians say. And so I blanked that out. I just blanked that out, and I still go. Because guess what? They can't kick you out. That's one of the rules of 12-step, is they can't kick you out even if you don't believe in everything or say any of this stuff. You can still go, and sometimes, unless it's Overeaters Anonymous, there's free food. Again. You can't go wrong.
I can't hate on that.
And it's funny because the 12-step programs, Los Angeles is one of the world capitals of diversity in 12-step programs. So it is, it's good. It's weird. It's not always helpful. There's a bunch of stuff that worries me. But again, I think the thing that really trumps, I hate using that word now, all of it is it's free.
Yeah, well, if you ever want free support, just come to the Mighty and play with the puppies.
Oh my God, I love it. It is, what are the hours? Can I come to this office?
Just we'll give you the keys.
What?
We'll give you your own parking spot.
No!
We'll give you a C-level title, so.
Oh, C-level org?
Yes.
Can I get a captain's hat?
Oh yeah. We'll give you your own email, maria@themighty.com.
Oh my God.
Can you scroll a little down, Ashley, making sure we got any questions for me?
Questions.
Makes my job easier because that way I don't have to prepare as much.
Interfaith counselor. Got it.
There we go.
Got it. Hear that. I hear that.
Hey Andrea, how are you? Joelle Marie, okay. Now it depends on the area where you live, but some areas have places called resource centers, peer centers, peer support, peer resource centers, etc. Many of them are free and don't require a diagnosis. They are not clinical, but provide some kind of supportive environment and often skills and coping groups as well as social contact. It helps to some degree.
Yeah, I always try to I try to listen to what is helpful. Like just go, okay, what can I take from this that is useful to me, and that doesn't charge me a ton of money or say that I have to wear a certain outfit, because that's a cult. Once they put you in a different outfit, that's a cult. Anyways, which I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, totally. There's peer. I have not used NAMI or DBSI groups.
DBSA. You're not missing out on much.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I know where they are, but I have not gone. But I've heard those are good too, or helpful as they can be at whatever point you're in. Because I went to groups. I mean, if you've been to outpatient treatment program, that's all it is groups where you just go every day for 6 hours so that you don't kill yourself, and sit there in a group, and then people chit chat or. At least, and then you get a piece of yellow cake. Sometimes a wonderful piece of cake with a thick frosting on it. If you go to Glendale Adventist, there's a cake.
I'm down.
Yeah.
We can go after this.
Yeah.
And LA is still kind of, it's very progressive as far as different kinds of therapy, but sometimes we're far behind. My wife Joelle, she's from the Boston area. They have programs like emotional CPR, Alternative to Suicide, Hearing Voices Network, where it's really trying to break free from putting you in these diagnoses, and it's all peer support run, so you don't have a doctor butting in. You can have people with the same experience as you without the grown-ups running things. So.
Yeah, the Painted Brain, is that?
Oh yeah, Painted Brain's cool.
Awesome.
Trying to get them in the office sometime soon.
Have you ever interviewed Ellie Sachs?
No, I go to her symposiums, the one you spoke at. I go there twice a year, so she's very cool.
She's awesome.
So any more comments that we have downward? And we're going to talk about OCD next, so hang tight. Jennifer, hey, Christ almighty indeed. Okay, so let's talk about intrusive thoughts, because that's really how I first discovered you. Hey, Joel Swartz, who I had in the office a few months ago. Talk about what that is, because that really blew my mind, because I've dealt with intrusive thoughts. I don't consider myself having OCD. I kind of have it under control, but there are times, especially when I'm driving, it's what if I just mowed down everyone? What if I just run off the cliff? What if I jumped off the fire escape? Yes. All these different things. So how does that manifest with you? And when did you discover that this is a thing? Well,
I didn't know what it was, but I started when I was 9 or 10. I started feeling I think some of it all makes sense, with whatever your life story is. I had some mild unwanted, if somebody touched me or whatever, so not great. So then I started to get anxious that I would rape, murder. I watched a lot of TV as a kid, people that I loved. So I wasn't even, and the idea that I even had that thought, what happens with an intrusive thought is that you, from what I understand, I am not an expert, you have the thought and then you go, normal people might go, oh, that's weird that I thought about chopping up my family into bits. Anyways, and then you go on with your day. Now, and there's a difference between, and this is in no way shaming, but that and psychosis, where you go, oh, I got some plans. I think that this is here. I am going to harm somebody, which that's a whole other thing. There's no shaming in that either. But OCD is you get the thought and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I had that thought. Oh my God. And then you have to do something to make the thought go away. And as soon as you say, I don't want to think about something, that's all you think about. So I would grip my fists to try to make the thought go away. I squeeze my thought, close my eyes. I started avoiding being with people altogether out of fear that I would harm them. I'd sit on my hands. I'm not sure if I did verbal tics of but I know sometimes that it was terrifying to me to have these thoughts, and it was like the more I tried to get rid of them, the worse they got. And usually intrusive thoughts are something that's taboo. So it's something that would be really embarrassing to tell anybody about, something that could be easily misunderstood. Many women with postpartum depression get it. They get the fear, intrusive thought that they're going to harm their baby, something where it's like, if somebody hears about it, which I told the therapist once about when I was in my 20s, about the intrusive thoughts, and she said, well, I'm going to need to report this. I'm a mandated reporter. And I was like, oh no, you don't get it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that I'm so anxious about it. I don't have contact with human beings. Anyway, she just didn't get it. So I never saw her again. I also had it. I was in the psych ward 6 years ago, and I told the psychiatrist, just as a part of my history, and he said, I'm going to keep you in for 7 days now, because he said I might be a danger to other people. So there is still legitimately some either a lack of education about this type of OCD, just because from what I understand from the doctors that I've seen for OCD, the person who has intrusive thoughts like this and the reaction of or whatever it is you're doing to make the thoughts go away is the least likely, least violent person. And not that I don't know why I want to say that having that any behavior is a bad thing, because mental illness causes us to do a lot of different things. But anyways, so it's just so I finally Googled it. Google it if you have it. Google it.
Or Alta Vista.
Or Alta Vista it. Or is that your search engine that's sponsoring you guys?
I mean, if Alta Vista's out there, wants to sponsor us, we need the money.
Oh my God, sponsored by Alta Vista. And I have a big joke about it. It's on my album, Unwanted Thought Syndrome. You can buy it on iTunes. I'm so sorry. That was a wanted thought. It turns out I keep wanting to promote myself, despite.
We'll put an affiliate link in the comments, and we'll get a cut of that.
I'm so sorry. But yeah, I just don't remember the joke anymore. Otherwise, I would tell you right now. I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is just a type of OCD." And then they did a technique where I recorded in real time what my worst fear was of, if I was a friend with a friend by myself, going to the nth degree, then I was supposed to listen to it over and over again, which is called flooding, I think. And this was 10 years ago, so I'm not sure if it's still a thing. They probably have some new thing that involves a buzzer and CBD oil. And then went to my friend's house, which was my flooding exercise to go to my friend's house because I would never spend more than maybe 45 minutes with a friend, and went, had all my anxieties come up, stayed for I think 2 hours, then listened to the tape all the way home. And I gotta tell you, after 2 weeks of doing that and having different exercises with the therapist as support, it was gone. You know, something that had like been a terrible thing since I was 10 years old was just gone, just with the knowledge of it. And I think people, I mean, once you have the relief of knowing kind of what something is and that it isn't your fault is delightful. And I'm sure other people have that experience with other stigma-inducing mental health symptoms.
Let's get to Erica's question. Maria, from where do you draw your sense of goodness? Sorry, that's kind of a big question, but I can't stir my coffee without having to ask why.
You mean what? Like goodness?
Just like, am I good enough? Like, am I doing the right thing?
Oh God. I think, yeah, I was raised in a Christian household where there was a lot of, which it was all very subjective goodness, you know, like, and the appearance of being good. So I am very much into grandiose public goodness, which I wonder all the time, like, what, you know, am I really, you know, but I think that where it comes from is like, are you, a lot of Bible stories are sort of, and I talk about that in my act, like very black and white, but then they're also very confusing. Like you go, yeah, what do they really mean? And some people, so I don't know exactly. I think it's just, it's an obsession that locked on to me of what is good. And it turns out there is no answer to that.
Now, does it help or harm when you have a lot of fans coming up to you saying like, oh my God, Maria, I love you. You're the greatest thing ever.
Well, I think you know that there's a process, especially in entertainment or the arts, and I feel this. And part of the reason I think I got into the entertainment is because of that glorification. It's like, oh, okay, I'll know I'm good if people like me, and you know, so just kind of knowing the reality of that people don't know you, you know, so can be super irritating as a friend and as a human being. I'm not the greatest, you know, I'm not no way perfect. My husband, if he were here, which he's not because he has his own life.
Yes. Is he doing more the BoJack Horseman?
No. He's a painter. I don't know if you think I have a different husband.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
There we go. We'll edit that out.
He's no. It's okay. Not a perfect person. I totally. I offended somebody just yesterday with something that I said about Christianity. I said something and somebody got very angry at me who I care about and love, and and I apologized, and yet at the same time I didn't feel sorry. So interesting. But so I think I'm very appreciative that people like what I do, because it means I get to earn a living, and also it makes me feel useful. Obviously, it makes me feel useful. So yay, feel great. But I also try to remind myself that my husband would like it if I washed the dishes, and more often he would like that.
Do you ever say like, do you know who I am?
No, because he does. He seems to recognize me still. Neither of us have fallen into Alzheimer's yet.
He's not like, Whitney Cummings doesn't have to do the dishes.
Yeah, I think she does. I think she does. I don't know her well, but I know a friend who works at a horse ranch with her, and she cleans up horse poop just like everybody else, and she's a very nice lady.
Shout out to Whitney.
Shout out, Whitney.
She's a good person. Any more comments down below? We're getting a lot, so I want to make sure I get to them. Sometimes they complain I don't like show them enough love. Oh. They're very needy.
No. Well, we all need love and recognition.
Yeah, let's just keep scrolling down, looking specifically for questions. Are you truly comfortable with people staring at you when you're on stage?
I love it. There's something. Have you ever tried stand-up comedy or anything like it? It is calming. It's weird. When you are the object of attention. My parents put me on stage when I was 3 years old to play the violin. Do not want to play the violin anymore. Please, please, don't. Nobody asked me to play, but I loved being on stage. It was very, very calming because you get all the endorphin rush, and I think it is a sense of control where you're lit and you're loud and lit. Who doesn't like to be loud and lit?
I would. I want to be loud and lit.
Yes, of course.
So I was going to ask you if you feel like you're like safe from the audience because you have that distance or you're in a bubble, but you've like done stand-up specials like in people's like living rooms.
My favorite, and that's great because that's being taped, so no one's going to heckle you during that. Now the hard thing is and heckling can mean anything if you are. It's a lot of times very positive. People can have a very strange laugh. Sometimes it's loud that takes it makes the timing harder for the jokes. The heckling can be just saying "I love you," "It's my birthday" over and over again. But that can be hard. I still have a little bit of a hard time with heckling when I I think it is the lack of control thing, but a lot of times there's bouncers at comedy clubs, which I suggest you get a bouncer or become one yourself. If you poke people in the midriff who are interrupting you, they wrap it up.
Yeah, Ashley's like our bouncer, the producer. Like,
are you wrapping it up? Should we wrap it up?
No,
Okay.
She doesn't control that.
Okay.
Let's see if we had anything else.
Ashley's doing a great job. She is the person behind the scenes who is extremely well dressed, better dressed than either of us.
Yeah, I'm very boring. We got a question about OCD. When you have OCD spikes/flares, you mentioned you isolate, I think. Do the people close to you know that happens? That is your process and why you're doing that? I have mostly scrupulosity issues with my OCD, and I do isolate. Telling people that's what I'm doing gets mixed responses.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go where the love is. Some people get it. Some people are like, what? I have a friend who can't, who's like, okay, Maria, my husband can, because I've told him what my thing is, so he can go, what are you doing right now? What's going on? And it's just sort of an ongoing thing. I just tell people who are interested in care, don't go to the empty well. At least because I have friends who. Or when I remember I was having a panic attack and I tried to tell another comedian, like, to try to get some support, and they're at work. They're like, joking back, like, really, Bamford? You had a panic attack? How you doing? Like, and they were doing their best, but sometimes people are uncomfortable with it, and that's fair enough. I'm uncomfortable with certain things, for sure. What am I uncomfortable with? Yes, I'll come up with something, but I am comfortable with certain things. So then you just move on to the next person. It's like like my friend Jackie Haitian says, it's a cold call comedy. It's a cold call.
Yeah, and one of the other issues I want to talk about is psychiatric hospitalization. And what if that happened right now? Do you anticipate that being a possibility, or you just feel like that wouldn't?
Not right now.
No, I mean, like, if it happened in the future, like knowing all you know now. And
oh, well.
I hope not right now.
No, God, Jesus. I mean, not that wouldn't be fine if it were necessary. And I've talked about that with my husband. We have all the documents in order that he would take. He has signature on everything. That he's my. I can't remember what that's called. Whoops. But yeah.
Oh, advanced directive
and all that stuff, and would be able to take control of our bank accounts and all that stuff. And he's on all of them for the business and everything. So, I would hope I would hope that I would have a much better, but it's a mental illness. You know, I at the time I was hospitalized, I did not feel any hope at all, and I did not feel like it was going to get better, and I did not feel I believed anybody that they said, "Oh, hang in there." So I want to have empathy for my future self. That it's really hard. It's very hard, and I also haven't had as severe an experience, I think, as other people have, from what I've read, anyways. So to have some kindness to myself, that if I struggle or that I'm not a failure, you know. And again, I don't advocate suicide at all, of course, but I just go, I that unbearability of existence going on for years, yeah, you know, I just want to have some kindness towards myself, and yeah, and also it's so good to know that there's so much support out there, and I would hope that I would feel the love and support of people around me. But I guess I just want to, like, I've had friends and family die of suicide, and I just think sometimes there's some shame in that, of like some going, "Oh, couldn't they hold on?" And it's like, you have no fucking idea, you know, what they've been through. And, you know, yeah, so I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just want to say that dial 911 or the suicide hotline. Awesome. I've called it myself. I've also called dialed 0 for the operator. The operator will talk to you for a
She's like working the switchboard,
pretty
like
long
smoking a
time.
cigarette.
No, it was a dude who answered
okay.
the phone, FYI, and he told me he loved me, or in his kind of roundabout way.
No, that's totally fine. So let's talk about your stand-up. This is the last topic before we bring it home. Usually when you're telling your jokes and you're telling your story, especially about the mental health issues and suicide, intrusive thoughts, there's two reactions. There's uproarious laughter, and there's like, ooh, that's kind of dark. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I think because I've already had therapy, I've read a bunch of books, I've, you know, had, again, I had the healthcare and the cash to go see an OCD professional who I believe was $100 an hour, which that's a shit ton of money. You know, like most people cannot do that. And that was 10 years ago. I don't know what it is now. He doesn't take insurance, the guy I go see, Dr. Rodney Boone of Glendale. So yeah, that is a privilege. Extreme privilege that I've had that, and also so I for some reason it doesn't bother me as much anymore, you know, because I'm older, and I think something with age is you go, oh yeah, people say a lot of shit.
Yeah.
People say a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm sure, like, have you been name called or whatever at work or something regarding mental health issues, or?
Not at work, because I've never had a real job. I've written stuff for the Mighty that's not been received well. And
Sure.
People thought like I was sick as I was writing it and whatever, all that stuff, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I also want to know, has there been jokes that you've had to retire just because they were just too dark for people? I know in one of your stand-ups you talked about making jokes about the troops and the suicide coming home.
Oh, I just change jokes just because I get bored. Also, I think comedians, you write a new hour of material, but I'm material ages for sure. But I'm proud of the work that I've done, and feel like it did. That particular joke that I cannot even remember, so I don't want to say it wrong, because I think I would prefer to have the timing. But yeah, I don't know if I would say it now just because I have had so many friends and family die of suicide that it does feel sad for me. But I have a, I have a joke in my new special that's about that issue. So so there's always, I heard a joke that I did, I think it was 15 years ago, and I was like, ugh, but what are you gonna do? The internet means it's out there forever. So I don't think I'll be running for office anytime soon.
Oh, you're not going to do the Eagle Rock Neighborhood Council?
I've thought about it. I no longer live in that neighborhood. We got pushed out by a fraternity house, but Occidental College. But the movie Neighbors was not at all helpful.
Yeah, I was a member of my neighborhood council, so you're not missing out on much.
Yeah, I've been to the meetings and stuff, and it was a rich boredom. A boredom comes over you. It's like mindfulness meditation. Like I would say, would be the kind of training that you would pay for in Malibu over a weekend. Is if you get involved in your neighborhood council, just keep the your breath feels like when it's going through your nose, and then sit in your neighborhood council.
There we go. I mean, do we need to spend an hour, like, if we want to open an urban garden in downtown? Like, so
turns out, yes,
you do, and I know that all too well. So before we bring it home, let's see if we have any more questions.
Okay.
We had a question about imposter syndrome. Do you still feel like that?
What's imposter syndrome?
Where like even you can be the most successful person, yet you feel like you don't deserve it.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, everybody, yeah, of course. I think everybody has that. You're a parent or a spouse or whatever, and you go, "Oh, am I doing this right? Is this any good?" Yeah, sure, of course. And just if you have any sort of public job with other human beings, people are going to question whether you're doing it right. Especially the birth of Yelp. And I have friends who work in retail and schools and as teachers and stuff. So there's a constant feedback loop of guess how we think you're doing.
All right, I think we're all cut up. Last question. You do all the voices, and it was actually kind of weird seeing you tell your story at the Alan Sachs symposiums because like I wasn't even sure like what your real voice was.
Oh.
So all the voice I was actually interested is that something like an escape? Are you trying to like get out of your own body and like get into these characters? How did that come about?
Yeah, probably. It's probably something like that. Like in terms of my own voice is a bit. Has been told to me that it's not good. People said, why, baby, why you talk that way, baby? My sister has the same voice. Whoops. So, yes, I like the idea that I can change my voice if I wish. I'm trying to learn how to do a dragon. Like I would like to work on being a dragon.
You do a good tiger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tigers are so scary.
Yeah. No. I mean.
Did you understand what I just said?
Tiger? No, I don't speak tiger.
Oh.
Like, who do you think I am?
I just said I'm having a great time.
Oh, awesome. I don't know. We got a part wolf in the room, so like.
Is that a wolf?
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, you probably want to take a picture of bear afterwards. Okay, so Joelle, you could do a pterodactyl too. So that's.
Anybody can do it. That is the best song to teach a young child. Old MacDonald had a pterodactyl, E-I-E-I-O, with a. Here, hours of fun. So fun.
And by the way, like you are the greatest on Adventure Time too. So.
Oh, that's kind. Which tapes only a few feet from here.
Oh wow! Oh, the Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. Oh
yeah.
My God! You get if anybody has the mentals, who's on any one of those shows, have them do one too. Contact their publicist.
Is it like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where like the cartoons are like bouncing up and down like in the room? Is like
There's a weird security guard at the front. He takes your photo. What? You get a plastic badge. There's no badge. There's no candy. You know, there used to be candy when you came in.
Did they give you
No
candy when you were doing voices for Cat Dog?
Yes, I'm sure there was. No, that was Nickelodeon. Also down the street, I swear to God, get some of those. That's people like geographical closeness. Wait, when I say people, I mean me. Get them in. They do a little voice over there. They do the Mighty. I'm sure there's some voiceover people who have mentals who want to talk on this thing.
Did you ever get slimed at Nickelodeon?
No, I'm not big. I'm no SpongeBob SquarePants. Tom Kenny.
You didn't get to meet Mark Summers?
No.
Oh, that's sad.
I met Mark McGrath.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay, last question from Joelle. Do you breathe in to do the pterodactyl? I wanted to know so badly. This is the question of the day. This is what we've been waiting for.
Okay. Yes. You breathe in. You can do it. You can do it, Joelle.
Believe in yourself. And
Believe in yourself.
that's the theme. Believe
Yeah.
in yourself.
Yeah, just take a few hours today and just go breathe in by yourself. Practice it.
You got that, Joelle? Joelle's my wife. I love you, Joelle. Coming home soon. Oh, wait, I have to work the rest of the day. So, thank you so much,
Thank
Maria.
you so much. So fun.
Sorry my breath smelled. I meant to brush my teeth before
Oh,
we
that
started.
happens. It's important to
It's
floss.
usually the guest who has the bad breath.
Oh, really? I do sometimes. It's happened as I've gotten older. I'm so sorry.
I know. That's the thing I fear most about age is that you just smell like differently in
It is
weird
weird.
ways,
You
like
smell
just
weird.
weird way. Like I know old people like they smell like Brut and like they don't even put it on. So
Yeah.
that's gonna do it for this month. Mental Health on the Mighty. I'm Rudy Caseres. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Rudy Caseres. Thank you, Maria Bamford. You're also on Twitter.
I'm also on Twitter. Maria Bamford. Sometimes I text people. I'm going to be in Denver the next week at a comedy festival. Why don't you come see me in Denver? Or why don't you stay home and save your money and take care of your pets?
Hey, Denver is lovely. And a special shout out to Jess, your PR person.
Isn't she great?
I've been bothering her for like every month since April to get you on here. So I'm glad that we made it.
GwynevrePR.com. Yes.
Yes, if you're a fledgling artist, comedian, you want the right PR person. She is the person.
She is a dreamboat.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully it won't be the last time. And that's gonna do it. Take care. Until next month. Stay mighty.
Thank you.